Welcome to another episode of DD on the Spot. As always, I'm your host, Ryan Johnson. You should recognize our guest. We have Shannon back on the podcast. She's one of the few people to have actually met me in person. It happened last week when she was in town to watch the TCO show. So we actually got to meet in person, and I got to realize that, yeah, she's even bigger than she looks in person. I mean, then she looks on the screen here, everyone. So, there is that. But again, Shannon, thank you so much for coming back on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's my honor. And yeah, it was really nice to finally see you in person. I think we've been talking now for what, it's about like 5 years now?
Yeah.
On and off, it's been a while, huh?
And, she finally got to see how tall I am, which is a reaction that I get from a lot of guests when they
Yeah,
first meet me in person.
you were really tall. I was very impressed. And you got to see how short I was.
You can't help it ever. I mean, you could have wore like super high heels, but you can't. So what was your experience like in Minnesota? Was this the first time you've been here?
No, I've been there before, visiting friends a couple years prior, but this is the first time I ever went to that bodybuilding show. And I was so impressed with that show. What was the name of that show again?
TCO.
TCO. Yeah, I went out there to the venue was awesome. I flew out there with a friend of mine that also competes, and our coach competed in the show. And so he was really excited because we surprised him and went out and watched him. And I was impressed with the quality of that show. It was like a pro level show. The venue, actually the competition was top notch. The awards they gave out, just how professional it was. And I had a great time. I might go back next year. And I had fun at the casino too.
Just be worried because I've won a lot of money. I've also lost a lot of money there. So I have that, I gotta definitely, maintain that myself. But I mean, since we last talked, you won your pro card. What was that like, first off?
Oh my God, that's been a while. Yeah. That was cool. I mean, let's see, I won my pro card in 2020 because I remember it was the year.
Oh, it was 2000. I thought it was like 2 years ago that you won your pro card, or like a year ago.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Wow. No, we definitely talked since then. So forget what I just said. Yeah.
I think one of our podcasts.
Well, what show did you win like last year or 2 years ago? Then did you win a show?
I went to Phoenix, Arizona. It was Masters USA's where I got my pro card in women's over 55 physique. Since I won my pro card, I've done like 3 pro shows. I went to my first show that I did in 2021. The year after I got my pro card was the Legion Sports Fest, which is a great show. Legion Sports Fest. They had a Masters category over women's physique 50, and I competed in that. And I also went to, and then I think I took 2022 off. And then I went to, let's see, last year I went to, I did 2 shows. I did Pittsburgh. I did Chicago Pro, which was awesome. That was a great experience. I was supposed to do that this year, but the timing didn't work out. I did Chicago Pro. I did women's physique over 50 and 55. I got second and third. And I also went to, right after that, I went to Pittsburgh. So I had to go 5 weeks. So went to Pittsburgh World Championships, which is an amazing show because you have all the best master athletes in the world. I competed there. And I was in my best shape ever, but unfortunately I got like 3rd call outs. But when you're at the level that I'm at, it's just like sometimes it's so competitive. I actually did women's bodybuilding, which I probably shouldn't have did women's bodybuilding because I was so small, but I love bodybuilding, and I also did women's physique. So anyway, I've done like 4 pro shows. And so now I'm getting ready for, here I go again. I'm doing I'm dropping down, I'm doing women's figure. I did this many years ago when I first started in my early days. I think back in 2012 and 13, I did figure. So I'm going back to the figure division, but I'm also crossing over to women's physique too, because I still love to pose like a bodybuilder. So I'm just having fun with it, and we'll see what happens. I got 2 shows lined up. I got the Max Fit USA, which is in Walton, Florida. And then 2 weeks after that is going to be the big one, which is the Masters World Championship, which is in Pittsburgh, which is a really big venue. So,
well, that just goes to show how much time flies by here, because I could have swore that you got your pro card last year. I might be thinking, again, when you talk to this many people, I honestly, I'm shocked that I still remember your name, if I'm being completely honest, when I saw you in person. So, yeah but no, that's...
You're a busy guy. Yeah,
oh my God. Yeah, don't even get me started on that, Shannon. But in this last year alone, what would you say is probably like one area of your physique that you've improved on the most?
Honestly, I think my legs, and I've really worked extremely hard on my legs. I think I'm going into some more size. They say, when you get older, you lose your legs, And so I really worked a lot on just my glutes, just my lower body. So I think I have more size. So we'll see. I'm dieting down. I seem small, but that's what I worked on, because I figured, you got to have the legs on the stage.
Talking to
So
these bodybuilders, they seem small, even though they're in better shape than 90%, 99.99% of the planet. I hate talking. That's the one time I hate talking to you guys, is that you guys are so self-depreciating when it should be the opposite way. But again,
we are really hard on ourselves.
that's why you're in this lifestyle though. Because if you were like, oh my god, I look
We're
amazing
never satisfied.
24/7,
Never satisfied.
yeah,
It's crazy.
exactly,
It's crazy. We should be.
exactly. So
We should be.
how I mean, when you started your fitness journey, how long into it before you finally started to develop sort of that body dysmorphia that you have? Because I know some people, it takes them a while, but then I know other people, like after that first time they touch a weight, they just automatically like, God, I don't look good enough.
I don't know. I think when you start compete, when you compete, and you're doing and you're in really good shape, you're doing a prep, and you go and you compete, and then when you come back during your off season and you slowly get out, you can't maintain that lean, body, that your body fat, is like under 10%. That's just not healthy. So I think you slowly just start going, oh man, I just don't look as good. I don't look good. But you have to get healthier. It's not healthy to be lean. But I just think I just think in general, I think when you compete for a lot of years and you do the bodybuilding lifestyle, you're always striving to be better. You're always constantly, you're taking pictures of yourself, during the off season, and you're taking a lot of pictures during your prep, and sending the pictures into your coach, and I always look at my pictures like, I just don't look good. I'm not where I should. And you're always comparing and contrasting to where you were last prep, 6 weeks out. It never ends. And sometimes you just have to go, you know what? I'm going to trust the process. I'm going to do the best I can, and whatever happens, happens. I'm going to have fun with. I'm going to have fun with this. you know, but we're never happy. I think a lot of bodybuilders just kind of develop that like body dysmorphia. I don't think I really have it. I mean, I like the way I look during the off season. I never get too big, but I'm a lot healthier. I'm not as lean and cut, but I just think that it's just something that when you compete for a lot of years and you're dieting down and your body's changing and you're always trying to be perfect, that I think it's just something that happens.
You're gonna sit there and tell me that you don't think you have body dysmorphia when I tell you that I think you look big, and you're gonna say, really, I think I look small. Come on, Shannon.
No, that was a compliment. When you told me that I looked bigger than in person, that just made my day. That really made my day.
It's the true everyone. If anyone ever runs into Shannon, I bet in person, I bet they would agree with me. But I saw on your Instagram that you competed in something. What was it, in 1996? You did like a fitness show or something like that. I was 2 years old, by the way. If anyone wants to,
Oh, I know.
that.
God.
But what was that like?
For a long time. Yeah, a long time. I've been competing for a long time, not just in bodybuilding, but I started off as a competitive runner, an athlete. And then I did, I don't know, back in the early 90s, they didn't have a lot of the divisions like they did now. And I did women's obstacle course competitions, women's tri fitness. And I think one of the first, and I did the women's galaxy where there were like obstacle course competitions, and there were like fitness assessments. You had to do an obstacle course and climb a cargo net, scale a wall. It was like really athletic. And then the other division was you had to be in a swimsuit and you had to do quarter turns. So it really wasn't bodybuilding. It was more just kind of like, we're going to judge the subjective part, which I really liked, was the obstacle course and the fitness assessments. And then they had the other part where they scored you in your swimwear. So it was two parts. So I did a lot of interesting type of competitions before I actually got into the whole bodybuilding thing. But yeah, it's been interesting.
Have you always been like a pull-up queen, or was that something that you just had to develop? Because I remember we talked about it other times how like for your age, like it's impressive to see sometimes.
You know what? I love pull-ups. I love doing body weight type things. But no, I remember when I first started training for bodybuilding, and I really didn't have a back, and I was talking to a coach, and he goes, "Well, he goes, one of the best exercises you can do to develop your back is start doing pull-ups." And I couldn't even do pull-ups. I had to go that assisted pull-up bar. And I just remember just trying to doing a little at a time. And finally I was able to do real pull-ups. I think it's just something you have to do. You have to do often. You can't just, I'm going to do this, I make it part of my back routine, pull-ups. I just love to do them, but I even do pull-ups on days that it's not really my back day. I think it's just a good overall, work out to do pull-ups. Can you do pull-ups? Yeah.
Of course I can. Are you kidding me,
Of course
Shannon?
you can. Yeah.
Of course I can. Now, maybe not as many as I could, when I was in really good shape. I could probably do like 5 or 6 now, but back in the day I could
Yeah.
probably do, like 20 or so, but
Yeah.
we're working back into it. It's a work in
I'm
progress, so
trying. I think for my age, I can do quite a few pull-ups. You know.
well, yeah, obviously. Well, how's it feel being a grandma? First of all, I got to ask cuz I saw that on
Oh
your
my God,
posts.
I love being a grandma. I love being a grandma. Yeah, he is going to be 4 years old pretty soon. He's going to be 4 years old, and he was named after me. My daughter, his first name is Luke, and his middle name is Shannon, so it's Luke Shannon. So, and he calls me Grandma Shamu. Yeah. And so we have a lot of fun. We have a really great relationship. They live about 4 hours from here. They live in Sacramento, California. So I don't get to see him that often, but I'm hoping that when I retire in a few years from teaching, that I'll be able to be down there like all the time. And then I just found out some good news just recently, about a month ago. My daughter's expecting a second one, so I'm going to be a grandma to two kids now.
That's great. Yeah, I'm in the process, for my parents are already waiting and they're telling us when are we going to get grandkids and I said, "Well, first there's got to be a wedding first of all, and then,
Yeah.
then after
Oh,
that we can work on that." But no, so it's believe me, I've heard that all the time and I have my two brothers too, so we get that all the time. Especially well, it was my
oh,
mom's
your parents are excited to have grandkids, huh?
yeah,
They're
well,
pushing
it was my
you.
mom's 60th birthday yesterday.
Oh, how
So we
exciting.
went out
Yeah.
to the lake and, had some fun. I got to ride a jet ski, which anytime you can do that, I
How
recommend it to everyone,
fun.
but yep, and
That's
then
awesome. Yeah. Well,
still suffering a little bit from the cake. I had maybe a little bit too much of the cake if I'm not gonna lie, but
well,
hey, that's
mom's
that's
60. Oh my God, your mom's so young. Gosh, yeah.
she's also about your height too, so it's
Oh my
amazing
God.
amazing that she gave birth to me. I That still
How
shocks
did
me to
you
this
get so
day.
tall? Is your dad tall or is it just like,
My dad is like 5'9", my mom is like 5'2", I think it is, and but
oh, so
both
she's,
my grandparents were 6'1", I
okay.
think. But
Yeah.
but it's weird because I'm 6'3", and my older brother is like 5'9", 5'10", and my little brother's like 5'8". So I'm just the tall one in the family by a large margin. So I might be adopted. We don't know yet.
Well, my grandson, he's my daughter, she's average height, and my son-in-law, he's only like I think like 5'7" or 5'8", and my grandson's like super super tall. They say that he's going to be probably like 6'2" or 6'3". So
It's a good
he,
life. I'll tell him that. Get used to
yeah,
it. But yeah.
he's a big boy. But
How do you make
yeah.
adjustments in the gym though? Because the gym is not designed for people that are as short as you.
Oh my God. Oh, I just climb up like the poles, and people will like see me like and they'll go, "Oh, let me help you." Or
You don't have
I
that
always
guy. You don't have to have that guy like lift you up to like reach the bar or
oh I
anything.
know. I've had a few people like lift me up. Oh, I just go get like people will see me. I'll have to go get like the benches and scoot them. I just but I train a lot out of my garage now, which is good. I have like a fitness center out, and I have like I'm a member of like three different gyms, and then I also have I have a setup in my garage for I have quite a bit of equipment, and then I have of course my cardio stuff here in my room right here, my cardio room.
I gotta say, gym memberships are way too expensive this day and age.
No, they are. They really are. Things are getting really expensive. And then a lot of people. I get really frustrated because I get used to training here in my garage, and I'm in my little zone and I have everything I need. And then sometimes when I do go to the gym to get out, because I like to get out sometimes, and I get frustrated because I'm used to doing, and I see a lot of the, not just young kids, just anyone just texting or just sitting on the machines. And I go, I should have just stayed home and did my own workout. So I really love actually to train alone. I really love to train alone. I really love to train alone. I do go to gyms, but sometimes I find myself getting frustrated because a lot of the gyms, certain times of the day, there's a lot of people there, and a lot of people are just sitting and they're texting on the machines. And I want to go in. I'm the type of person where I want to go in and I want to have this. I want to do this. I don't want to wait around for this. So, so I train a lot in my garage. I think it's really good for me.
I've only ever really honestly trained alone because I'm too much of a talker where if I had anyone else in there, we wouldn't get anything done. So that's why when I go and film other people's workouts, I don't work out with them because I said, listen, if I'm working out with you, we're going to be here for 5.5 hours. So just for the
Yeah, I don't
betterment
like
of
to
it.
talk. I
Yeah.
don't like to talk. I just like to just get with it and just get it done.
Well, it's not that I don't like to talk. It's just when I'm someone there, I just feel obliged that like I have to. So it's just part of my
Yeah.
personality. So, that's just what it is. So the gym is my alone time where I don't even say a word. I just, get it out of it. And then I go for walks as well, which are really good, except for now, for some reason this year, the gnats and the mosquitoes are worse than they've ever been. I don't know what that's all about, but
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got bit up, but then I did the mistake where I literally just had someone douse me in bug spray, and I didn't get bit once, but then bug spray, you're gonna smell like that for a couple of days, even after you shower. So
Oh my God. Yeah,
the trials of living here, Shannon. I tell you.
yeah, it's really muggy there. I notice it's really humid, so I'm sure summer you get a lot of the mosquitoes and stuff.
Yeah, well, especially because one of the reasons it's muggy is because we have so many lakes too. Honestly, where
Oh
that
yeah,
just
that's
adds
true
to
too.
it.
You've got all those beautiful lakes there. Yeah.
Yep, they are nice. I mean, even within 5 miles of where my apartment right now, I have what probably like 6 or 7 lakes, probably within like 5 miles of it. So they're
Mhm.
everywhere. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so it's just a part. All right, so we heard a kitten. So what's the cat's name?
This is RJ. This is RJ. This is my buddy.
So that's literally my high school nickname and what my nickname
This
that
is
people still
RJ.
call
Oh my
me.
God, RJ is like my life. He's like everything.
So
I adopted him.
you want to know what's
I,
funny is that my mom's name is Rosanna and my dad's name is Randy. So all three of us are RJ.
oh my
And
God! See, hello, hello. I'm RJ. Yeah, this cat is by me constantly. He's always sits by my computer when I work from home. He sleeps with me. I mean, he's just. I'm surprised he just now made his entrance in here.
I've never had a cat myself. I've always been a dog person, but I've been fascinated by cats. I will say that. But
Oh, he's a good cat. He's a
yeah,
good kitty. Yeah.
I just like how they clean up the environment. Basically, that they're really just psychopathic murderers when you get down to it. The amount of birds that they kill, everyone go and look it up. It's ridiculous. When I first learned that fact, it's like, wait, they kill so many rats and birds every year, but hey, that's a good thing. So get rid of that. So
Yeah, he's a house cat, but he every now and then I let him go up in the backyard a little bit. And he brought in lizards, dead lizards.
mm.
He's very interesting.
One time when I was at home, our dog brought in a squirrel's head. She didn't kill the squirrel, but she must have just found it dead. But she brought in its head in its mouth, so that was an interesting sight to see. But yeah, it's before we get into animals, dead animals and stuff like that. No, see, we could be off base for 10 hours, Shannon, me and you. So it's gonna happen eventually. But I mean, just over this past year, have you changed up your training at all? Have you done anything different than you've done in other preps?
I'm training smarter. I am getting older. I'm 57. I'm going to be 58 in September, less than 2 months. So I train a lot smarter. I don't lift as heavy as I used to. I take more rest days. um, I had some shoulder. I had like a pinched nerve or something. I didn't think I was going to be able to even do the bodybuilding this year, but I think I had a pinched nerve or something. But that finally went away. Finally went away. But I think I just changed trained smarter. I really haven't changed it up too much. I take more rest days. I try not to overtrain because I think in the past I probably have overtrained, some, and so I think as when you get to my age and you've been training and competing most of your life, you kind of like you know what to do and you don't. You got sometimes you have to like analyze yourself. Okay, I'm feeling like this. This is what I need to do. Like, hey, I need to take another rest day. Maybe I need to just train lighter. But I've tried to incorporate like different types of exercises because I think as an athlete, you have to constantly be learning and changing and being willing to change different exercises and do different exercises maybe that you normally wouldn't do, maybe to work different body parts, your lagging body parts. So I've just kind of been a little more open minded, and I think just the main thing is just smarter because I think the way I've been for many years, I was like go 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 go, train as hard as I can. And I'm a small person. I'm a small frame, and I noticed that this last year my joints were like aching a lot. I had to go to the chiropractor, and I had to just like analyze stuff and go, this is what I need to do. I need to kind of switch things up, take an extra rest day, you know, just do some things. If it hurts, don't do it. Just be careful. You just got to be careful.
And moving to the figure division, was it hard all to learn the figure poses?
Yes, it's been challenging. I was like, oh my God, but I'm having fun with it now. Getting into the heels, I ordered some heels, and the first heels I ordered, I think several months back. I put them on because I have bunions on my feet, and they were too small and they couldn't fit. I go, how am I even going to do this? I can't even wear the heels. So I had to like research and get like just like a skinny strap, like in the front, like just had to get like a bigger like heel, not like a skinny heel, a shorter one. They make so many different heels. It's way different than it was many years ago, over 10 years ago. I mean, but just learning the poses has been different. I'm working with the posing coach, and I'm getting it now. But at first, I thought, man, I just can't do this. but I actually like it. I kind of like the figure division. I mean, I love physique, but I'm kind of like getting where I'm feeling more comfortable. So we'll see how it goes. I'll get the feedback from the judges, and and see what happens. We just figured. Me, and my coach thought it would be like a one of the feedback from the judges from my last show was, possibly, I have really good symmetry, and I'm a lot smaller than a lot of the physique competitors on stage. So one of their recommendation was maybe to cross over to like figure, but they still liked me in physique. But they wanted some of the comments were maybe to like cross over to the figure division.
Was it hard learning that front lat spread? Because from a lot of figure competitors, they say that that's like the hardest thing in the world for them.
You know what? The front lat splits are really good to me. The hardest one for me is the back is opening is my back. I'm so used to turning around and doing a front double bicep. So just to actually, do your when you do your back, open up your back from your back shot from behind is the hardest for me because I don't know what it is. So, just like with any division, you got to learn the transitions, you got to learn the poses, and you got to get comfortable. And the more comfortable you get, the more you practice, the more it's just like because posing is like everything. It's like you could have the best physique on stage, but if you don't pose properly, or you're just not going to look good.
I will sign any petition that says that there should be a front double bicep in any division, regardless, because that's
Oh, I think so too.
why
Yeah.
the hell would they ever take that out? Like that's bodybuilding for you. But
Oh, in
that's,
any division, even bikini. You
yeah,
think
just
the
for that, just
bikini?
because when you think of bodybuilding, you think of that pose. Like that pose alone should just be in like every division, just because.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's and plus with figure people getting bigger and bigger. What's that been like too? Just to see the whole sport change and evolve because like the figure competitors now were the physique competitors 5 years ago.
Every division is it's just when you look at the IFBB level and you look at the pro shows and you look at first it was bodybuilding the women bodybuilding it's back in and it's going strong. They're huge. We're talking about then you look at the physique competitors. We're talking about the women, the men and women that are in the open division. Masters are still like up there too. Every division they're bigger and harder, and so you're just kind of like, okay, like, can I still keep doing the sport? Like, which division can I do? Or I can, unfortunately, I only compete with the over 50 and over 55 category. But even in the IFBB pro level, even those categories are like crazy, with the type of conditioning and size that these women are coming in with. So you just got to be happy with what you're going to do, the choices that you make to compete, you know, and because it's just, I think the scoring actually from some of the shows so far this year, from like the scoring that I've seen this year, actually looks pretty good. I think the judges. I don't know if you feel that way. If you've been following some of the pro shows that have been going on, this year, I think they are rewarding some of more symmetrical, more feminine looking, shape than. But still, it's all about size. In IFBB, it's all about size. It's all about size. I had a judge last year. One of the best compliments that I think I've received was last year at Chicago Pro. I did the Masters category, not the Open. I'm too old for the Open, even though I thought about it. I'm like, no. After I did women's physique, and the next day, because I went to go pick up my check, which I was really happy because I actually won money. I think I got a second in the over 50, and I think I got a second in the over 55. So I got like $600, which was pretty cool. And I asked one of the judges, I go, I just wanted to get some feedback from you. What do you think that I need to work on? He goes, well, what do you think? I go, I don't know. You guys probably want me bigger. And I was like, he goes, we love your look. Do not change your look at all. He goes, we like the way you look. You look feminine. You represent bodybuilding the way it should be. He goes, you are 57 years old. He goes, you work really hard for what you have. He goes, keep doing what you're doing. He goes, don't go any further than what you're doing. He goes, we love your look. And so that's all I needed, They loved they loved my look, I didn't win, but they loved my look on stage, and he didn't have any. The only thing that he did say was maybe you could possibly go down to like figure division. You might, with your symmetry and your size, you would probably do well in the women's figure division because physique, is a lot more harder, a lot more muscle. and they thought maybe the figure would be like, I'd be comparable to where I'm at like right now. So I go, okay. So I thought that was great that they loved my look and they didn't tell me anything because they loved the way I looked. And so I was like, great.
Well, what a great compliment to get, I should say. That's a
No,
great
it was a
compliment.
great compliment because I was really nervous because I never actually asked a judge in person what the feedback would be. As usually I would like for them to see me and they remember seeing me the day before because it was all fresh and they were one of the judges. Usually you email your pictures, so it's not really that like you don't really feel just pictures. But they remembered me on stage, and so for him to tell me that in person was like really cool. You keep doing what you're doing. I think we love your look. I go, okay, thank you. Because it's a hard sport, though. It's a hard sport, though. A lot of these women in the IFBB level, it's crazy. It's it's crazy the level of conditioning that these competitors come in at, and it's just like wow. It's difficult. You have to make that decision. Do I want to do this sport? Am I going to keep doing what I'm doing and just do me and just go no further than that? And like yeah, and that's what I've always done. I've always just competed just for me.
Has that been a struggle for you at all to maintain like your femininity, which you've done a very great job of when in a sport where so many people decide to go overboard at the expense of that?
hmm No, I it hasn't been hard for me. I mean, sometimes when I go to these shows and I don't place and I get their call outs and I don't place how I want to place but then at the end of the day I look at me and I look how much I've accomplished me versus me. And then I look at maybe the ones that were up there, what they look like. And I go, you know what? I like the way I look. I get compliments on the way I look. I go to the gym or wherever I'm at. I try to be like a role model for, people will come up to me still today. I mean, I've been in fitness like for like my entire life. And a lot of people around in this area where I live, they'll come up to me like a girl the other day. And she's like, man, she goes, you have been competing for so many years. You always look so awesome. You are like such a true inspiration. I go, oh, well, thank you. So like, I think when people come up to you and they like the way you look, when the women like the way you look, and not just like women, like men, that's a compliment. So you're doing something right. You're doing something right. And I've helped women. I've helped a lot of people. I've been in training and, with my job, I work in, health and education. So it's like, it's always about like, maintaining and being the best that you can be.
Where do you think these current generations have gone wrong when it comes to health? Because like generations keep getting more obese as we go down the line. So what do you think has been going on that has helped lead to that increase?
Oh God, it's just food. It's just habits. It's just people are more sedentary now. People are sitting more than they used to. I mean, technology is a good thing, but I mean, we. I mean, I'm in education. I'm a teacher. I see kids. I of all different levels, and it starts. Kids are not moving and not exercising. They're not out of the house playing like they used to. They're sitting. A lot of them are sitting, and they're on iPads, they're on phones, they're on video games. There's convenience. It's the fast food wherever you go. There's food, and most of the time it's processed food, it's junk food, and I think in every household in America, I think parents are responsible for what's going on. I think if you have parents that eat healthy and they exercises and they get their kids involved in those type of activities and they see those habits early on, then they're going to go the healthy route. But so many that I see, being a teacher and being in education, is I just see a lot of unhealthy kids because a lot of unhealthy parents. And it's kind of like it's a pattern. If you live in a household with parents that just sit and they eat fast food, they don't exercise, and they're always on computers or video games. I mean, you have to monitor this. You got to get your kids involved in activities. You got to teach them about like eating healthy. So I think it's kind of like a pattern. And then once the kids get to a certain age, it's going to be up to them whether they want to live a healthy lifestyle, they want to be active, or they just want to be sedentary. But I think a lot of it is just parenting, and it's just society of just video games, just food is out there everywhere, convenience, I mean, fast food, people, I mean, don't even have to go to the store anymore. I mean, it's DoorDash. I mean, it's all those things that have gotten even worse over the last 5 years, 10 years. when COVID came and then nobody could go anywhere. So, people were, convenience is good, technology is good, but then it's kind of made a lot of our generation like really lazy. And I think that's where we get obesity. I mean, I see kids, I work with a lot of kids that are, I work in special education. So I see a lot of kids. I have a couple of younger kids that are very, very obese. They're like in wheelchairs, and they have a lot of issues. And it's very sad. It's very sad that they've gotten that way so young.
Was COVID the catalyst that made you make your home gym, or did you have a home gym before then?
Ah, no, I just kind of started doing it like just the last couple of years. Just started getting stuff here and there, and just kind of getting. Um, I always kind of had my own stuff, but then I started getting more stuff. Better stuff. Getting like leg machines, just getting a lot of really cool stuff. But I think COVID kind of taught us like, what, we don't have to go to a gym. We can train from home. But I remember during COVID too, like people were selling like fitness stuff like crazy. People were like selling, because everybody was like trying to make their own gym. It was hilarious. I bought some stuff back then, and then my older son, he was flipping like, it was funny because he was buying a bunch of stuff and flipping it. Like he would buy a bunch of um, like barbells and dumbbells and weight stuff, say for like $200 or $300, and then he would put it on Craigslist or offer up and sell it for like $700 or $800. He was like flipping like fitness equipment. It was hilarious, and people were like going crazy. Oh my God, look! There's this treadmill for sale. There's all these because people were like desperate for anything. Remember that?
I've heard so many stories of people that have made like small fortunes from doing that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, people were like going crazy. People were just. I remember when all the gyms closed, we totally went on Craigslist, me and my son, and we were just like looking for all kinds of equipment, and we bought like some Smith rack and stuff, and we kept that. But then he started flipping it, and he started making a lot of money off of it. It was crazy.
That's one of those time periods where when we look back at it now, or even when we look back at it like 20 years from now, there'll be a lot of studies about what happened during that period, just because it's bizarre, and I mean we
No,
lived through it. It's just absolutely crazy, but just that motivation to do this year after year, that you've been doing this for so long, where does that motivation come from, do you think? Because a lot of people like it's a very rare that someone like you has been competing for this long. Most people do not compete for the length that you have.
yeah, I've been competing like my entire life, basically. It's just a passion that I have. Always been very driven. It's always been me versus me, and it's a passion. I love to train. I love to go to the gym, and I love to work out. I love the way it makes me feel. I don't have a problem with like working out and training because it's always been a part of me. It's been embedded in me. It's part of my personality, just part of my genes and my genetic. Um, but to go through and to like compete and do a prep and do a bodybuilding show and to cut down and everything that's involved in it, the posing, the dieting, all the cardio, it's really difficult. It's really difficult, but you push through it because you know that you're gonna love the outcome. You're gonna love the end results. Of it. And so, it's just something that something that I do. But every time and every prep I get to the end, I'm like, oh wow, this is so hard. Why am I doing this? You have those moments where you're like questioning yourself. Oh, this is so hard. I just want to be eating hamburgers and French fries, or and then people, your social life, your family life when you're in a prep is really hard because going to social events, everything revolves around food. But I just like take my food with me. I've just gotten so used to it. I go on vacation on a prep. It doesn't bother me. I don't make it stressful. I just take my food with me. I find a gym. I go work out. It's just part of my lifestyle. And so it's easy for me. And people think that's crazy. They're like, why are you going on vacation and you're eating chicken and vegetables? Because that's me. That's what I do. Um, but but no, I have plenty of times, to enjoy life. So you put a lot of that work into it, and so you don't want to mess up because you just want to like make sure that because if you mess up, say you're on a prep for 16 weeks or 12 weeks, and you have like 4 weeks left, like right now I have 4 weeks to the show, and you just decide, 2 days I'm just going to eat whatever I want. Well, don't do that because you're just messing up all the work that you've done. Um, I love it. I love to be pushed. I love to be driven. It's just part of me. I know that I probably every year, like last year, I said, "Oh, I'm not going to compete anymore. I'm done." But then I decided to come back to compete again.
You said that the last 3 years that I've talked to you, okay?
I
So
know. And my daughter always tells me, "Mom, is this your last year competing?" I go, "Yeah." She said that last year, so I don't know.
we got
I don't
Brett
know.
Favre over here just announcing their retirement every year and coming back, so
Nah, I think I mean I might probably I think after TV shows I might like take this next year off because my daughter's having a baby, and I just want to do some family stuff and not be under prep during the summer and just you give my body time to just really just relax and have some fun and but I always had this thing where I was gonna like compete when I was 60, so maybe I might maybe take a year or two and then come back and then compete when I'm 60, but.
when you look back at your entire career so far, what was your favorite moment?
Oh my god, like I've had so many favorite moments.
You can do more than one.
I think when I got my pro card in Phoenix, Arizona, that was like pretty cool. I was like, I couldn't believe it. And then I don't know. I've had a lot of really good moments. Even back when I was an amateur and I competed in NPC, and then I did the IMBA, the NBA for like 6 years. I mean, I went to the Natural Olympia back then, and I remember I placed second. I never won though. I've had a lot of. I can't really say that there was just like one. Um, Actually, there was one show. It was an amateur show. It was my first year in the NPC. Like I was already over 50 years old. And I did the women's. It was just a small local show, but I remember that was probably like I had so much fun because it was like a local show. And I remember I did my routine, my posing routine, and I won the short class for over 50. And I remember another competitor, which is one of my Iron Sister friend. She won her. She won the heavyweight class over 50. So then her and I had to go for the overall, and we had to do like a pose down. And I remember everybody was just screaming and yelling, and it was just like so much fun. And I did my posing routine to this like crazy song, and the crowd it was just the crowd was in it. It was a great crowd. It was kind of like that show that I just went to, in Minnesota there. It was like that. It was a great crowd. Everybody was cheering. You could just feel the energy. And I just felt the energy. And then it was between her and I, and we did our pose down. And I thought she was going to win, because she was like so much bigger than me. But I won the overall. I got the big sword. And it's just like,
Okay, because you say that everyone's so much bigger than you, have you ever competed against people that are shorter than you?
shorter. Yeah, I have before. Yeah.
So at
I
least
have.
in that situation, you could say that you might have felt bigger than them.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, it was just an amateur show, and I competed in a lot of many bodybuilding shows, but that was just such a fun show. And a lot of my family members were there, and we took so many pictures with the sword, and and that was like back in 2018. That's been like quite a few years ago.
People don't understand that the atmosphere of a show can be make or break, really, honestly,
No,
when it comes to.
it was the atmosphere. The crowd was just, I was in my moment of posing, and then winning the overall was like really cool. It
Yeah,
was fun. It was fun. I've had a lot of really good shows, but when you get to the pro level, sometimes you get to these shows, and sometimes in the evening, the finals. Sometimes because it's so competitive, and if it's a large lineup, you may not even get to do your posing routine. And to me, that's like everything to do your posing routine. Only the top five, only the top five. If you're in a class of like, 20 and you didn't make the top five, you're not, you didn't get first call outs. So, you have to learn you're in the big league now, and this is how it goes. so some, so sometimes when you look back, and you look at all the different, I mean, I competed in a lot of different bodybuilding shows, and I have a lot of good memories. But that was the one in particular. It was the Fresno Classic. It was just a local show, but it just was awesome. So.
I've been saying this for a while, but a crowd of 100 enthusiastic people is better than a crowd of 1,000 that isn't that interested.
Oh no, I hear you. I agree with you. It's all about just the energy. To me, it was the energy. You could feed the energy. You're posing with the energy, and they're having fun, and you're having fun. So, and that's what it's all about: is being at a show where it's a lot of fun. Like the show that I was at in Minnesota. I remember it was kind of dead a lot until like the music came on and the bodybuilders started posing, and then people started getting into it. The evening shows are always the best. Prejudging is always a little tense, But and then when they go through the bikini competitors, there's so many, there's so many, there's so many. A lot of times you hear nobody in the audience until they get to until they get to the bodybuilders, and they bring their music and they do their posing routine. You know,
I actually do have a reason for why it was probably so dead when it first started, because
why?
I think everyone was on their phone and they were realizing that there was a certain assassination attempt that had just happened, like right
Oh
before.
yeah, that's
So
right.
I think because I heard a lot of murmuring in the crowd, and then I had to look on my phone and look at all that stuff. So I think a lot of people were just shocked for a little bit, and then once everyone calmed down and realized that, like, no, the person wasn't dead or anything like that, then I think that's when everyone else started to get into it. Then because
Yeah, I
yeah,
didn't even hear about that till like the next day. I mean, because I just was like at the casino and yeah, so it's just been nonstop since I got back. But yeah, you're
I was
right.
outside the convention when I first heard it, and then I started calling people that I had on my history podcast that were sort of more in the know, and they were giving me some updates on it. But yeah, so that's, I think they can kind of blame it on that, because yeah, I think everyone was just shocked for maybe like an hour or so, and then once stuff calmed down a little bit, then everyone got real. And plus, they also have a bar there too, so probably after a couple of drinks too.
Oh yeah, yeah, they did have a bar there.
Never drink from that bar though, because it's way too expensive.
Yeah, yeah, I did. I just had my water.
Yeah. But at what point in your prep do you look in the mirror and say that, like, I look my best? Because so many times I've talked to people. Well, no, so many times I've talked to people and it shocked me where that look that they present on stage is not their favorite look. If they were to say that, like, oh yeah, I don't really prefer that stage look. At what point in your prep, so like 4 weeks out, 6 weeks out, or a week after, do you look in the mirror and say, like, this is my best look?
I think about like about 4 weeks out, 2 to 4 weeks out. You know, I mean, you know, like when you're dieting down and you're depleted, you don't look good. You're like, oh my god, you wake up, you're like, oh my god, look at me, I lost all the fat in my face, and I look so scrawny, and you know, you look
God
really
damn it,
excited.
Shannon, you don't look scrawny.
No, I think I look good. I think I look good right now. I like the way I look right now. I think I look really good. But this year, you know, me doing the figure division, you know, I'm going in fuller looking. You know, I don't have to, you know, like I'm really not far. We got ready really early, so really we're really not we're not really that far from my look. You know, we're just getting me ready early, and then we're gonna, you know, just maintain and just go in like, you know, with more food, and you know, not killing myself with a lot of cardio. You know, um, yeah, I think sometimes I don't know, I like the way I look right now. I know I probably have a little more. I have 4 weeks to go for the first show, and then 6 weeks for the second show. And my coach told me today, he goes, yeah, he goes, just keep pushing it. We're almost there. Just keep pushing it. We're almost there. You know, we're gonna give you a refeed on Monday. I'm like, okay, you know.
If you say you look scrawny again, I'm gonna have to travel down there and shake you down and, like, literally
I look
make.
big.
Yeah,
I look
well, that
big.
too. Yeah, yeah. That's the
Right.
attitude to have. Okay, that's the
I
attitude that you
know.
need to
You
have
know what?
24/7.
Yeah. No. I.
You need to walk into
I'm
the gym
happy.
like you
You
need to
know.
walk into every gym like this. Basically, take up all the space. Do all that.
I know, right? Yeah, negative talk can like bring you down. Yeah, and actually, that negative talk. If you go to a show sometimes and you know when you're backstage and you've done all the work and you're there and it's only normal. You're looking at everybody. You're like, oh my god, this lineup looks really good. I'm not going to place. Man, that's going to show when you go out there. You got to be confident because that will show in your posing. It will show in your presentation. It'll show in your body language. You know,
You got to
if you
walk
just,
up to him and say, "Who's coming in second place?"
I'm here, man. I'm putting on a show. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You got to be confident because that will show. It's in anything that you do in life. It's confidence. You know, you go in for a job interview. If you walk in with your head down like this and you don't give them eye contact, and you know, they're gonna be like, "Huh, I don't know." You know, they're asking you questions, and you have to be always be confident. Confident.
Or you could be like me and just come in way too enthusiastic and
Oh,
just almost kill them with my enthusiasm, where they're just like, "Oh my
I
god, this." They
that's
cranked it up to an 11. I can't handle this.
oh no, I've always been a talker and I've always talked too much. Um, it's got me into some trouble, but most of the time, I think I pretty much got where I am today because of my personality and my confidence. You know,
Yeah.
but so I have to remember that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Hey, I'm a talker as well. So that's why whenever we get together,
Yeah,
that's why we're interrupting each other all the time, because we just can't stop talking.
I know exactly.
There's some guests that just happens to, and hey, that's a good thing. Believe me, it's better than some of those guests where they answer a question in about 5 seconds and then it's just like 5 seconds of awkward silence while I think of something else to say because I didn't have enough time to think of the next question. So it's,
Yeah, definitely,
oh my God, it's
definitely. I
great.
agree.
So when you're traveling to these shows, do you ever suffer from? I mean, I know it's a phenomenon that I'm not really that familiar with, but a lot of people when they travel by plane, they sometimes get a little bit more fuller. Their body changes a little bit. Have you ever dealt with that?
I think a little bit. I think well, when you go to a show, I always make it. I always do pretty good because, if you're traveling out, you have like a 5 hour, 6 hour flight, you might be traveling for 7 or 8, or you could be traveling for 10 hours because you have layovers and that happens. Um, I always get there 2 to 3 days ahead of time. I always get there 2 to 3 days ahead of time. So, say you compete on a Saturday, I'm there by Thursday. Okay. Sometimes Wednesday. So, you can just, your body, can get rid of whatever it needs to, the jet lag, you retain fluid, you need to get all your meals, it's just, yeah, because elevation and traveling can really affect your physique. But I think the most important thing is you get there ahead of time. You gotta, plan it and you get there. It might cost more to stay longer, but like if you work your butt off and train and under prep for 16 weeks, you're going to a really important show, and you can't get there at the last minute. You cannot get there at the last minute. It's all about preparation. Bodybuilding lifestyle is all about preparation. It's all about your food, having your food ready, getting enough sleep is important, keeping stress down. And it's the same thing. You do all the work, you train all year long, you do your prep, man, your body is ready. And then you fly and you get there at the last minute. Or I mean, sometimes flights can be delayed or things can happen. So it's always good. I've known people that even get to a show a week early. But some of these competitors are coming from out of the country or something. You know what I mean? But it's all about preparation, allowing yourself enough time to settle down, your body to get adjusted, to get some sleep, and get everything that you need when you get in the new locations. Because it's senseless if you do all the work and you're not prepared when you get there. You need to give yourself 2 to 3 days if you can. I mean,
Have you ever thought about when you eventually retire how you're going to try to at least maintain a positive body image since you won't be seeing yourself as shredded really ever again? Have you ever thought about that? Like, how am I going to
oh yeah,
be more?
yeah, I've thought about it. It'll be easy for me because I've always been active. I've always ate healthy. So I think I'll be fine. I think about doing other things. Like I want to get into yoga and Pilates and just more like kind of like natural, like just therapeutic type things. I mean, I think it'll be easy for me because I love hiking. Doing a lot like swimming, doing a lot of those like kind of things. I think I'll probably always weight training because resistance training. I mean, it's the key to longevity. It's going to help you. Of course, but I think it's also good to give yourself a break and to do other types of important things for your joints too. For mobility, because I've noticed like this the last couple of years that I'm like really tight, and I have to, and I think from working out for like so many years and weight training, if you don't stretch or take care of your joints, man, you're not going to be able to like really, it can really affect your posing too. Like if you don't really do mobility type work, because you get really stiff and you get really sore. You really have to stretch. You got to take days off. You got to get massages. So now I have it all planned out. I'm just gonna become a hippie, and I'm just gonna be doing yoga.
What reactions do you get from masseuses when they see that you're like all shredded and stuff? Is because it's probably a different thing to massage someone who's ripped as opposed to just your average person.
The guy that I go to, he's like really funny. He goes, "You are really hard. You are really hard." And he's really hard muscles. And one masseuse told me before. He goes, "You have the hardest muscles out of anyone I've ever massaged before." I mean, I'm sure if regular bodybuilders went to him, but I always just tell him I really need the masseuse I go to now, he knows that I really have to you have to really dig deep in me. You have to go really hard. So he goes really hard. Because I've been to masseuses before where they did not massage hard enough. So I said, I'm leaving. This is not working. Or they brought the other one in. They go, can you come massage her really hard?
Well, that's when they
So
just
this
got to
guy
do.
I go
They just
to,
got to do the elbow squeeze massage, and that'll work
he
just
gets
fine.
on top of me and does this really hard. No, the guy that I go to, he knows me. He knows I do the bodybuilding, and it's really good. It's real important to take care of your joints and to get massages and even to get like deep tissue and to get cupped, because you can only go so long with like working out day after day, and when you do this year after year, you got to take care of your body. You got to really take care of your body. So I've really been stepping up with doing that this last year, especially.
Is there anything over your career that you found to help with like saving time? Because I know a lot of people, they complain about not having enough time in their day, but have there been any time savers that you found throughout your career that make make it so that you don't have to waste as much time? No, I'm not gonna say waste as much time, but spend as much time as the gym as people might
Well,
think.
having my home gym, having my own cardio machine, my own cardio stuff. I do most of my cardio from home. Having stuff at your house, if you can get cardio machines, if you can get like a backup, like some type of, even if you can get like dumbbells or something, if you don't have a complete gym, I'm going to have a complete gym. If having something at your house so you can train at your house is a big saver. Um, or even like a food. I mean, I prep my own food, but I mean, I there for a while. If you can have someone like prep your food, like cook your food. There's these food prep services that can like prep your food. Even a bodybuilder, have that, have that done. Just people like helping you out. If you can have like friends help you out, you can maybe have your significant others like help you out in any way. Just planning, being organized, and planning what you're going to do every day, especially when right now I'm off because I'm a teacher. It's really awesome, but pretty soon I'll be going back to work. Ugh. But just planning your day so you know what you're going to do, how you're going to get everything in. Like when I'm going to do cardio at this time. I'm going to do my weights at this time. Be at work during this time. You really just got to plan it all out. I write it out every day. I know what I'm doing, where I'm going, when I'm going to squeeze it in. Because if you can't, you got to have a plan. And I think most people that do this sport like have a plan. And that's why they're successful, because they have a plan and they stick to it. When am I going to cook my food? Okay. Well, when am I going to do this? Because it's kind of hard when you're in prep and you're like driving around and you're like hungry. You're like, oh, I just want to stop at McDonald's. You just can't do that. So every time I leave, I have a bag with me. Wherever I go, I have 2 bags with me. My son one time told me, is it necessary that you take all those bags with you when you leave? I go, yeah. I mean, I'm sure you've heard stories with bodybuilders.
Yes, I have. Yeah,
And
that's not even cracking the top 20 for the worst I've heard. So no.
And you're just like leaving for the day to go to work. I have my work bag, I have my food bag, I have my gym bag, I have like whatever bag, like preparation is the key, and having people help you out, having a home gym, just thinking about those little things that can save you time.
So we talked about this when I met you in person, but you don't even have your IFBB Pro belt. So what the hell?
Oh, my what?
We talked about, remember we met in person, that you don't have your IFBB Pro belt. So have you been working on getting that since the last week that I talked to you?
My pro what?
It might be someone else. No, it was you that I talked about. How you remember when you get a pro, like a lot of pros have like that IFBB Pro weight belt that they use then?
You know what? I don't even have one. Can you believe it? I'm gonna get me one.
Well, I see you have a regular belt that I see you post and stuff, but I'm surprised that they didn't get you one.
I need to get one. I'm gonna get a black one, and I'm gonna put pink in the back. In fact, I'm gonna order that like this week. Okay. And I was just thinking that day, why don't I have one of those? Like, why don't I have one of those? Yeah. So yeah, that's what I need to get. So that way, when I go to these gyms, people know who I am.
Yeah, exactly. They don't even have to ask that. Just says Shannon Lee IFBB Pro on the back. They don't have to ask then.
They just call me the old beast. They go, oh, she's here, the old beast.
The old beast is what they call you?
The little beast. I call myself the little old beast, but they call me the little beast. Yeah, the little beast. Yeah.
Again, this is just Shannon constantly shitting on herself the entire podcast.
I'm gonna get me one, Ryan. I'm gonna get me. In fact, I was just thinking about that the other day. I go, why don't I have an IFBB Pro belt? And a backpack like this. I'm gonna have both of these within a month. Yeah.
You already got the sword, so you might as well. I
know, right? Exactly.
First of all, that I never got why they would give out swords. It's a cool gift, but like I don't know how that applied to bodybuilding. But that's one of the best gifts you can ever receive is a sword. Honestly.
Yeah, it was crazy. Maybe I'll send you one of the. I don't even know what these.
How tall is the sword in comparison to you? Because like some of those swords are pretty long.
Big. It's really big. It's really. I'll have to find a picture and send it to you so you can put it in the story. I don't know. It was just funny. I just remember it was like the big thing to get a sword. I think when you go to a lot of these amateur NPC shows, a lot of the organizations, they give you a sword. They'll give you like a sword. I thought it was kind of cool than a sword than like a trophy.
I'd take the sword over the trophy. The best is if like they ingrain the sword as well with like your name or something like that, like on the sword. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. It has the name of the competition on it. I've never put my name on it. I don't even know where the sword is to this day. I think I gave it to somebody.
That's your home defense weapon. What the hell?
I know.
You come out with a long sword for a home intruder or anything like that.
Right, exactly.
That would be funny. But no, Shannon, I mean, it's always a delight to have you on and talk to you. I mean, every
It
single time.
is. It
It's
is.
been going on. God, I've done this for 6 years in 1 month now,
All
so
right.
I
I
can't
think
believe it's
I'd
been
be
this
done by
long.
now, huh? I'll probably still be on here another 4 more years.
Like you
Yeah, it's
said, you got to
always
be
a pleasure.
60. Yeah.
We have to keep going. We can't stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, yeah, you come to Minnesota next year too. Yeah, we'll have to film a workout then. Yeah, but that would be great. So yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah.
All right. Well, everyone, go and check out Shannon's Instagram page. I'll leave a link down below. Buyer beware. You will get inspired to get off that couch and stop eating all those Twinkies. But again, Shannon, absolute delight to have you on and talk to you.
Yeah, it was awesome, Ryan. Thank you.
All right, everyone. This is Ryan Johnson, DD on the spot, signing off. Have a great day, everyone.